Common mistakes to avoid. What we've noticed working with students, working with clients, working with people who want to get involved in the day trading space is very common mistakes. It's something that needs to be talked about because it's very easily avoidable if you're aware of it. And so that way you can save yourself some money or time or effort, blood, sweat, and tears in the game of day trading.
I think one of the beautiful things about this course that we're putting together and just in general being able to learn from somebody that has experience, whether it's us or somebody else, whatever the case is not only learning what to do, but also what not to do. So it doesn't take you having some sort of an experience to be like, okay, I'm never doing that again because it hurt and I lost a lot of money or whatever the case may be. Common mistakes to avoid. Number one is going to be in terms of you entering a trade with practically no consideration for what you're risking on that trade. So basically what that translates to is no stop loss. Trading without a stop loss.
It's crazy.
And we've all done it. You know what I mean?
We've all
We've
done
all done it. Well, both
it.
of us for sure have done it. If you're seeing this and you're a beginner, hopefully you don't do this after seeing this video. But what it actually means to trade with no stop loss for those of you guys that are completely brand new is to take a trade and again, not consider what you're risking on that trade at all.
Mm,
And you could be risking, 5% on your account. You could be risking literally all of your account on a trade if you're unaware of, well, how to calculate your risk, number one, but number two, more importantly, not using a stop loss or some sort of risk parameter that is stating, hey, if the market doesn't do what I'm anticipating it to, I want to be taken out of the market at this price level, losing no more than fill in the blank. So
hmm
yeah, no stop loss. I mean, this is a big one. I'll show you guys literally an example from today. This was an idea that I had from Sunday, but this is a trade that, I was risking 24 pips on and I had a stop loss. Had I not had a stop loss on this trade, this ran for an extra almost 60 pips. So that's me risking a calculated, 1R, 1% of my account or a certain dollar amount of my account and closing for a loss versus me not using a stop loss and I could have been down 4 times more than what I was risking initially on that setup. So it's absolutely crucial to be trading with a stop loss with risk parameters.
Absolutely. And it's things like this that contribute to that downward spiral of you crashing out and maybe taking too many trades or revenge trading or over trading all in the same day. The
Facts.
ideal thing you want to do is be able to preserve yourself where you can always play the game tomorrow. You can't play the game if you completely blew your money, you lost everything, right? So that's exactly why we're here is we're trying to prevent you from getting to that place where you can no longer play the game, right? And it starts with these little common mistakes. Obviously, it seems like not putting an SL, you think that you can build a system around it or this or that around it, but the true reality of the markets is there is always a randomness associated with every execution, with every moment that you participate in the markets. There is an opportunity for you to lose, and that's okay. And that's why we mitigate our risk by always placing a stop loss and knowing, okay, this is the amount that I'm going to lose, and I'm okay with that. When executing, understanding that, okay, there's the possibility that I can lose this money, right? Obviously, we want to win it, but understanding the other side of the equation.
Something to consider as well is you could have a great week trading. You could have a great month trading. You have consecutive fantastic months trading.
True.
All it takes is one error for all of that to go out the window.
Wiped out.
And this is a big one that I think for a lot of traders, myself included, in my almost 8 years doing this, like this has been my downfall in the past.
Mm.
And it hurts. Sometimes you need to experience it firsthand, but hopefully after this video, you take our pain as
Yeah.
enough of a lesson to not do something as silly as trading without a stop loss.
Next one is trading without a strategy. So I will say real quick that that is one of the most, I'm gonna keep it super real. It's one of the most foolish things you can do because there's no way that you can come into the markets thinking that your intuition is all you need to make money in the markets. If it was, a lot of people would be winning today, we wouldn't be making this video because everybody would be winning. You know what I mean? But the reality of it is not coming in knowing how much you're gonna lose, what knowing how many trades that you're gonna take in the day, right? Knowing exactly where you're gonna place your stop loss before you take the trade, exactly where you're gonna place your take profit after before you take the trade. All of these things are so important, and they're always built around a trading system, or you can call it strategy, you can call it model, you can call it whatever you'd like. Everybody calls it something different, but you always want to pull up to the charts with some sort of a plan. It's so important, and not showing up with a plan is really just not setting you for success. It's like going into a sales call. If you're a salesperson, it's like going into a sales call and having no idea how you're going to approach or carry that conversation, what intention or purpose lies in that conversation. You're really just talking to the client to talk to the client. You have no idea what's happening, who that person is, what their personality is like, their behavior, nothing. And you're really just setting yourself to lose. And obviously we don't want to lose in this game. So that's my personal take on trading without a system, without a strategy. I'm curious, Donnie, to hear about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this was me literally for my first practically year. I had no concept of risk management. I had no concept of a trading strategy, and I didn't have anybody to learn from. I wasn't working with a mentor or any sort of community back then. So I didn't know what I didn't know, right? But once I came into understanding that, hey, there's a way to have an edge to
Mhm.
set myself up to succeed, then I was like, man, I can't believe I was trading without a strategy for so long, without a system for so long. So you want to make sure you're trading with a strategy 100%.
Even if it's something simple, simple is great because simple is something you can build on. When you begin to get those data points, et cetera, right? Obviously, these are a little bit like when you're further down the road, you'll start to journal your trades, you'll start to journal your experiences. Simple is great, but pulling up with nothing is just not the way to go. It's not the way to go.
You can't throw shit at a wall and hope it sticks with trading.
Yeah,
You're not
it's just not going to stick.
it's not sustainable,
It's not
right? You
sustainable.
might have a good season, but I
Yeah.
promise y'all it's not sustainable. The next one, this is a good one,
Yes.
is not risking the same R per trade, not risking the same dollar amount, not risking the same percentage,
Percentage. Yeah.
whatever it is
Yes.
per trade. This is huge.
Mm.
So I'm going to say not risking the same amount per trade.
Yes.
And this has to do with R. We have a video in the course that overviews R. So
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it already, you can check it out. We'll also put a little ticket top right corner of the video. You can check out the video that discusses R. But R is essentially the foundation of a system. Usually, it's how much am I going to risk every single trade? And if you are inconsistent with your risk, where let's say one trade you decide to risk, I don't know, $100 on the trade, you lose the trade, you're down 100.
Mm.
But then the next trade you decide to risk $300 on the trade and you lose that trade, now you're down 400. There's no consistency that will really allow you to properly make back those losses. Now, you might have a system where you are risking a different amount every trade because of the number of confirmations you have, let's say. I know there's a lot of people that will have trading systems like that where it's like, okay, if this, and this are present, I'm going to risk 1R or 1% or $10. If all those things and a couple others are present, I'm going to risk 2R. So there's different systems that can allow you to create a winning system without risking the same amount, but most people unknowingly are going from trade to trade, not even realizing that the risk is inconsistent. And that's something
Absolutely.
that any part of your trading approach, if it's inconsistent, will impact all other areas of your trading and the overall outcomes that you're experiencing with your trading.
Key word is consistency. I mean, this is just a life thing. You know what I mean? If you're having a hard time with being consistent in life, hey, it may show up on the charts. And that's exactly why if anything, bringing it to your awareness is that you must be consistent in whatever your approach is, because it's not a matter of winning, it's about winning more than you lose, because you will lose, and we're accounting for those losses and we're mitigating those losses, you will lose. And it's about winning more than you lose. And the only way that can occur is by consistent action, by a consistency of execution as well. This is, ties back into what we were talking about earlier about having a trading system, having a trading strategy, because you're having a consistent approach to the market. You are approaching it with the same pattern, kind of, if you must, not, okay, today I'm showing up trading like type A, and then you come on the charts tomorrow with something totally different, and you're like, okay, I'm trading like this. It's going to burn you more than help you.
On that same tip as well, this is like so synced up with the next one. It's strategy hopping. Goes back to that point of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'll be honest, I was super guilty of this when I first started because
Nice.
I thought that it was the strategy that determined profitability. It's not. It is you as the individual, the trader, that determines whether a strategy is profitable or not. It's your ability to create a plan and execute on it. And when you are jumping from one thing to the next, never allowing yourself to stay in one place long enough to see any sort of fruits bared, it's going to be counterproductive to your process. Sure, you might make an evaluation, I don't know, 3 months into your experience trading one strategy and be like, I'm not resonating with this. Let me pivot. That's totally different. Strategy hopping is like, okay, let me jump from this strategy or this guy online or this educator or this YouTube content creator or this guru, right? From their strategy to the next guy's strategy, the next guy's strategy. It's like you want to allow yourself to collect data. And if you're not allowing yourself to collect data, which is you actually sticking with something for like 3 months,
Yeah.
I would say, which is like a bare minimum, to be honest, like
Yeah.
90 days,
Truly.
then you're shooting yourself in the foot with this strategy hopping.
Next one will be over trading and revenge trading.
Yeah, man, this is, I mean, I think this is usually, from my experience at least, brought on by number one, not trading with it, like trading without a stop loss. Like trading without a stop loss is usually what leads to over trading or revenge trading because now you're trying to make up for a loss that was unnecessary for you to initially even incur in the first place. This is very easy to avoid. Very easy to avoid. It's you setting rules and sticking with them. But what's easy to avoid and create for yourself as rules are also easy to disregard. So
Mhm.
you have to be very intentional when you're coming onto the charts, very intentional with how you are doing everything. I feel that a lot of my challenge in trading my first couple of years came from being a wandering generality, which basically means like I'm just, generally showing up and generally doing this, generally doing that, but never intentionally
Mm.
doing anything. Like I didn't make a decision to create a plan and stick to it and collect data and tweak it only after collecting data. I was just wandering generality instead of being a meaningful specific. And
Mm.
that's a huge,
That's deep.
that's not even mine. I
That's
can't claim
deep.
that as mine. That is from Zig Ziglar. All right.
Wow.
He's a world renowned speaker. He's passed away now, but nugget of gold from him. Literally, don't be a wandering generality. Be a meaningful specific, and in life just in general, by the way, but specifically with your trading, super key.
Over trading and revenge trading usually leads to crash outs
Yep.
and downward spirals. If you don't know what we're talking about when we say that, then you haven't experienced it yet. And I don't wish it upon you, but you will at some point. You will have that time where you you think that, oh, I lost this, so let me jump back in. And then, oh, you lost that too, so let me just jump back in with a little bit more risk. And then before you know it, you look back and it's been 30 minutes or it's been an hour, and I swear to God, this has happened to me. And my account's at zero.
You're like, oh, what
Bro,
have I
like
done?
like from $5,000 in a live account to zero in literally like an hour, like one trade, half a trading session. And why I do not wish that upon you. I really mean that when I say that. And so mitigating, how we mitigate over trading and revenge trading is by following the trading system, right? So a lot of these things kind of tie back to the system, which is so important to apply consistency to it, to apply discipline to it, to apply commitment to it, because ultimately it's going to be your commitment to it that's going to produce results in it. The final one, the final common mistake that we want to go over with you today is trading without a journal. That is a crazy one. That is a very important one, honestly.
I mean, this is the data that you need to be documenting to make necessary adjustments as you are continuing to trade, right? The benefit in journaling, what is journaling, right? Well, I'm sure it's probably what you're thinking. It's you taking note of and tracking your trades. It's you taking before and after screenshots. It's you logging, okay, I made this much or lost this much on a trade at this time, and this is the pair I traded. This is the direction. It was a buy, it was a sell. How much did you lose? Like documenting that stuff is so important because that's the data that will show you what you're doing wrong, if anything, or it will show you how to potentially optimize your edge and your strategy with more data being collected over time. You know what's crazy too is this is something that when I started to do it, it was a little bit tedious. It was hard to build a habit around. And now it's actually a lot easier because we literally have a trading journal that is kind of automated within the community. So if you
Yeah,
want that, you can definitely reach out to us. And it's very similar to like TradeZella, but for free inside the
literally.
community. So it's something that does support with some of the journaling. I still have to take before and after screenshots because that's what I like to do to visually see, okay, this is what justified me taking the trade to begin with.
Mm.
But a lot of the tedious stuff, like, oh, this is the time I executed the trade. This was the pair. This is how much I won or lost. This was the RI risk, da da da. We have a whole system that automates that for you. It's very simple. If you want that, you can definitely, join the community and you have access to that. But
Yeah, and oh wow, like I struggled with this trading without a journal because the thing is, you want to ideally get to know who you are on the charts. And the only way you can get to know who you are on the charts is by documenting who you are and who you're being. A great example is if you're going to the gym and you have a genuine desire to lift more or to lift heavier, you're going to have to at some point journal down like what is the weight that you're deadlifting, right? What if you're trying to lift heavier, but you forget how much you lifted last week, right? Because you're constantly shifting in those numbers, you're growing them ideally, and you're lifting a little bit less this week when you were actually supposed to lift a little bit more this week. You just thought that's what you lifted last week. You see what I'm saying? Like you just thought that this was the same setup as the one that I took last week. And you could be totally wrong
yeah,
because the markets there's always an association of emotion behind the markets, your execution, everything. You could execute feeling you could take a trade feeling really good and being like, oh, this is like I feel so good about this. And you could take a trade feeling super bad and being like, yeah, I don't feel good about this at all, and then taking it and then taking a loss, thinking that that trade you felt bad about was the wrong trade to take, when in actuality that was a part of your plan, and it was no different from the trade you took that ended up winning.
mm,
So these are the things that will kind of f with your mind, and I'll be real, like it'll drive you a little bit crazy on the charts because you're not journaling it, you're not actually jotting it down, you're not making it a history of you on the charts.
yeah.
It's really important. It's very important, honestly. So hopefully that gives you a better idea.
One thing I'll add to that is I think a lot of people take trading and treat it like a hobby. Hobbies cost you money. I don't know anybody that's like, oh yeah, my hobby is building computers.
Mm,
Like, okay, you're paying to build computers. You're paying to play golf. Golf's an expensive hobby. I mean, shit.
facts.
You know what I mean? Like hobbies are expensive. Trading, you don't want to treat it like a hobby. You want to treat it like a business. So it'll pay you like a business, like he was
Mm,
saying. It's like you want to know what's working and what's not. So how are you going to come in here and start trading and not, do the same things that you should do to have a profitable and successful business? Well, it's the same thing with this skill. You got to treat it seriously and with the respect that it is due
mm,
and
mm.
deserves.
And I think that concludes our common mistakes to avoid. We should add as a newbie at the end.
Yeah, you noobs. No, I'm kidding. Fucking noobs. Just
Yeah.
playing, just playing. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the video. We know it was a little bit lengthier than some of the other ones in this course, but honestly, necessarily
So
so.
important.
And hopefully it's not one that I already know this motherfucker's skipping over some of this shit. And it's like,
Real.
those are the ones that are gonna get clapped, you know?
They're gonna learn the hard
Just
way for real.
absolutely bent over by the markets from these mistakes. So, you know,
Tough.
if you're not trying to be penetrated by the markets in that way, shout out to you for making it to the end of the video.
May you not be penetrated by the markets.
Jokes aside, though, we'll see you guys in the next video. And let us know what you're thinking of this course, by the way. Let us know in the comments. If there's any videos you feel like aren't in here as you're watching that you want us to make, also let us know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, see y'all in the next one.
Peace out.